The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised. What's going on, Mavericks? We're back with another episode of The Unusual Mavericks. I'm your host, Kwame, joined by the handsome, the amazing.
Just Dominic.
Just Dominic. Yes. A little bit of a new setup, you guys. We're working on some things, and I'm liking it.
Yes, new stuff in 2022.
Yes. 2022.
3.
Yes.
That was a test, everyone. What year?
We just wanted to know if you knew.
Did we time travel?
That we knew. We did. Okay. All right. So, how are you?
I'm doing great in 2023.
Yes, indeed. And also, we want to thank you guys for joining us on our live last week. We're trying to do get more interactive with you guys. So thank you guys for joining in our live. We do want to do at least a once a month, if not once a quarter, maybe. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how our schedule goes. I don't want my voice to come in and out, so we're just gonna make sure that the mic is directly on my mouth.
There we go.
Yes. All right, you guys. Let's get into some things. We have a lot to talk about today. We're going to be focusing heavily on some topics for the Maverick Alert, so stay tuned for that. So without further ado,
yes,
let's get into the Maverick Alert.
All right.
Lead the way, Dominic.
So, according to sources in the streets, there has been a bit of conversation from Peter Safran and James Gunn concerning how Henry Cavill was rehired, how the executives at Warner Brothers did this soft rehire of him, which caused all this confusion.
Chaos.
And with him saying that he's back and all of that. So yeah, we really need to talk about and unpack what James Gunn and Peter Safran had to say about the executives and how they clap back.
Yes, a lot to talk about there because there's been some little Twitter beef. You know what I'm saying? Little issues.
Yes.
When we say little, we mean a lot. There was like some public issues going on. Like the girls were bad.
Yes, but I think it was really necessary because a lot of people were deeply joyful when the announcement from Henry Cavill was made that he was back.
Yeah.
And then to see the new heads of DC come in and say, what? No, that's not our plan. It really created a lot of chaos.
It did. It not only created a lot of chaos, but it caused people to feel mistrust.
Yes.
With DC and we talked about it in our own private, production meetings and just conversations that we were having about and how I feel about it. Like, you guys know, if you guys have been following the show, you guys know I'm a big Marvel fan. But I am super fair when it comes to criticism with both Marvel and DC.
Yeah,
and so, I mean, there's first of all, representation in of itself needs to increase for both. I think they've done a good job, or a decent job rather. I'm not say good, a decent job within the past, decade or so on increasing more visibility, but there's still a long way to go, right? But in addition to that, one of my biggest gripes, and I think you guys can agree with me on this, is communication. You guys don't communicate with us. And then when we tell you that we're concerned about something or you guys are trying to hide, and I get it. Listen, I am in the film industry. I understand. I get it. I understand that oftentimes you have to keep certain things under wraps to make that big bang. Marketing is marketing, right?
Yeah.
But you need to communicate your intentions, calm the masses down when things start ruffling up, get in front of certain narratives when things are building up, because now this entire time everybody was blaming James Gunn and Peter Safran for all of the stuff that was going on with Henry Cavill, and it wasn't even them.
No, it was the execs at Warner Brothers who had a meeting with David Zaslav as well, The Rock and his seven bucks production team. So they all, of course, insisted through a screaming match that Henry Cavill would return as Superman. So the execs allegedly just gave in. There was no paperwork, but they went ahead and said, let's bring him back for some cameo scenes and obviously pay him $250,000 per cameo, allegedly. And a lot of that is
per
going
cameo?
to be, yes. So if he did a cameo for the Flash movie, then that's $250,000 there. He did a cameo for Black Adam, that was another $250,000 there. And so whatever movie
now,
he does with all this old regime before,
but is this his image and likeness, or does it matter if
he's there? It's not like
so. Even when in Peacemaker, like when he was because allegedly he was physically in that clip.
Correct, he was. That was him. They just dimmed him, but because we didn't see his face, I think the price was significantly decreased.
That's what I was asking. Yeah, because if it's his full image and likeness, then it's a different price. That's why I was asking.
Yes.
I was like,
yes. So it sounds like the executives who really caused a lot of the mayhem during the years of Justice League, the executives who gave Zack Snyder so much grief when he did the Snyder Cut and telling him he couldn't use Green Lantern, all of those executives were the ones who said, hey, Mr. Cavill, we want you back.
Hot Mess Express
on a handshake agreement. And that is not how you do business.
No, it's not.
That's not how you protect a brand.
But here's my thing. And yes, we're gonna give James Gunn a break, okay? Because it wasn't necessarily him or Peter Safran.
You can't blame someone before they start.
However, no, you can't blame them for that. However, when the issue did happen, they didn't get behind the narrative, or in front of the narrative, rather. And so that's my issue when it comes to these companies and them not communicating with the fans.
I don't know if they should have. If I'm still working out the deal to coming on as the head of a studio, if I'm still working that out, nothing has been signed yet, because allegedly nothing was signed yet. They were still in negotiations, but the deals were not made. I'm not going to I don't think that they should be responsible.
No, I hear that, but that's not what I'm saying. And so if we look at the timeline, correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to make sure that I'm speaking properly. But Peter Safran and James Gunn were made co-CEOs of DC Studios, now known as DC Studios, correct?
Yes.
Then after that, the whole announcement of Henry Cavill no longer being Superman came out. Am I misunderstanding the time?
That's correct.
So then when you became the CEO, girl, and all that stuff was going down with Henry Cavill, why didn't you explain that had nothing to do with you or Peter Safran?
Which is what they just did.
But they just did it now.
Yeah, let them get in the door first. Let them get their stuff going on. I cannot imagine how much chaos was going on when they took over. Number one, you had The Rock trying to become the new high power of DC in front of the camera and behind the camera, with all the execs, including Walter Armada, and all these other folks who were exiting. You had the sale of Warner Brothers go from Discovery to go from AT&T to Discovery. I think that's how it went. So there was a lot of chaos during all of that for about 3 months. I can't put this on James Gunn or Peter Safran.
No, I'm not putting it
I
on
don't
James
agree
Gunn.
with folks on Twitter saying he should be fired or they should be fired.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that. I definitely don't agree. I don't think that he should be fired.
I think that the executives who did this handshake agreement really should have gotten scolded. And I'm very happy to hear more about what really was going on, because these are very powerful people. So
yeah,
yes,
I definitely well, listen, I definitely think that they should have been, there's some backlash going on to them, and I agree with you on that. I don't think that Peter Gunn or James Safran should be fired. James Safran. James Gunn and Peter Safran should not be fired. I do not think that that should be the case, because they haven't been in term long enough for me to sit there and say, oh, they did something horrific, and we haven't seen any of their products.
No, and I would assume that during the couple months, because the timeline was in October, the executives did this handshake agreement with Cavill to say we're gonna bring him back, and that's
furthermore, Dominic,
and then 1 month later, you point a new head of the studio and say, hey, we want your plans, and we also know that if you become the head of something, there's a lot of hiring you have to do in your little circle and all this kind of stuff. So
I'm gonna get on that. It's also very messy of the Warner Brothers higher ups, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
Well, I allegedly, according to tweets that we saw, Peter and James read those executives for filth.
I heard,
which he should have done. If you know that negotiations are going on with a new head of a division, you don't step in and stir the pot. So that's not your job.
So there's a couple of things, and I don't want to lose my train of thought on this. So let me get this out, and then let's talk, because there's a couple of things that I have issues with, and why I'm still have my foot on James Gunn's neck. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. All right, because at the end of the day, you became co-CEO. You too, Peter. I'm looking at you too, girl. But at the end of the day, you became the co-CEOs of this organization, of this company. I don't care what was going on out there. Your job is the number one, navigate what you've been doing, navigate the chaos and get things in line and create this whole universe. But you also need to understand that optics is everything when it comes to this industry, because optically we're looking at your product. We are looking, and so optics are a big deal when it comes to the marketing of things, how things are viewed, etc. So my thing is, even though this was not your fault per se, and I think personally there was a lot of politics involved.
Always.
However, we're not going to touch that.
Always.
However, when this is one of two things that I feel happened or could have happened. One, it either shows that you were not able, because you were not paying attention to what the fans were saying, which makes you detached from the fans. At least for me, that's how I feel, because this is not something new. The fans weren't just talking about Henry Cavill's departure all of a sudden today. It's been talked about since he announced it on IG, and you didn't say anything about it. So that,
which they should not have.
Why?
Because they didn't work for the company. I'm not going to say something about a company I don't work for. They were still at Marvel.
Who was still at Marvel?
James Gunn.
No, when it was announced that he was departing, when he announced this was after he became CEO.
So let's do the timeline correctly, though. In October, Henry Cavill announced that he was coming on. In November, when they came on, they announced that Henry Cavill is not coming on. So that's all in order.
Okay.
Right?
But that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about what happened beforehand. I'm talking about the actual announcement.
Oh, you're saying right when they made the announcement that he wasn't coming on, that they should have just spilled all the tea and
or not even spill the tea. Cover your behind, because guess what? Everybody's going to be thinking. You just came, or you're the new girls on the block, and you decided to cut everybody out. That's how it looks optically.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, we got all of this pushback on all of these shows, all of these chops on all of these shows. Now, I get it from a CEO's point of view. I get it from an executive producer's point of view. I understand why you made these cutbacks. I understand why you're reallocating funds into these new shows or these other different shows to build your own thing. I get that. But optically, everybody, when we're talking about from a fan perspective, we're not talking about from a professional perspective. From producers and people who direct. You directed before, so you understand budgets and all that stuff or whatever. The average Joe who is watching, as a fan, doesn't know, nor do they care. They're just getting what they're being told. So if you have Henry Cavill leaving, and I'm a super fan of let's say I'm a super fan of Henry Cavill, I'm now being told that Henry Cavill's coming back. Yay, Henry Cavill's coming back. And then now I'm being told that James Gunn and Peter Safran are coming in as CEOs. Yay, James Gunn and Peter Safran are now CEOs of DC Studios, and we're getting all this new cool stuff or whatever, and they're calling it DC Studios, and we have a new universe and all this stuff or whatever. Then right after that, you're telling me that Henry Cavill's gone. The Rock is gone. And then and then the lady from Wonder Woman is I forget her name. Patty is it Patty Jenkins? No, that's not Jenkins. Patty. Yeah, Patty Jenkins. She's got out because she's having friction there. So I'm like, okay, well maybe he's just shaking it up a little. He has a right to have his own stuff or whatever. But why is Henry Cavill leaving?
Because it's new.
But it looks like you fired him.
Well, if he was never hired. If he never did paperwork,
nobody knows that.
But now they do. They have known that for over a week
I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about at that time. And that is what I'm talking about. And the same thing happened with when he was announcing, when all the pressure from the fans were talking about in December, oh, I'm going to get you guys all of this new stuff. I'm going to tell you what's happening with DC, and the new change in DC or whatever, and our rollout and our plan for DC in the first week of January. Well, the first week of January came and went. Then the second week happened. Where are you at, James? Okay, then the third week happened. I'm on my birthday, January 19th. Okay, didn't see any announcement from Jamisha Gunn. Okay, she didn't tell me nothing. Then the last week, we have literally 24 hours before the end of February. He gonna come on the camera with this high definition camera, talk about doing a talking head thing, talk about here's the new DC stuff. You waited all that time, girl, and now all of this stuff, you knew that what was going on with Henry Cavill. Now listen, on one hand, some people might say, oh yeah, you just took it for the culture. Girl, you're not one of us, all right? So I'm over here wondering what's happening. All I'm saying is that there's communication breakdowns with DC and Marvel and the fandom. And that has been a major issue with a lot of these shows and a lot of with DC Studios and Marvel.
Yes, and that has been the number one complaint about DC over bringing back Cavill or the Snyderverse, which is what they're fixing. And so I'm happy that they are fixing it. I'm happy, number one, the DC universe is now going to be a connected universe. We deserve that. We really deserve a connected universe. So with that, there's going to be some growing pains. So this is what people have to understand.
There's a difference between growing pains and over 20 years of us telling you that you don't communicate with us, girl.
Yes, but Gunn and Safran have not been there for 20 years. They've only been there like 30 days. So if we could just, 60 days. I just don't want to push out too much negativity in about a job and a role that I honestly don't really understand. And I think that we all need to have a little bit more compassion and understanding when it comes to these types of things. I believe that it's going to be worth it. This new chapter 1 looks like it's going to be worth it. Now, if it's this
is why Dominic is invited to the DC parties.
Then I will complain and be a negative Nancy. But right now, it's like I don't know what to say. In a matter of weeks, we had Henry Cavill, we don't have Henry Cavill, and we have the reasons why.
So
I'm happy about that.
So to me, so my point,
I'm not happy to lose him.
I absolutely hear what you're saying, and personally, from a casting point of view, I do think that Henry Cavill, if you're going to create a whole new universe and have a 10-year plan, Henry Cavill's not the one to be the Superman for this next 10 years. Yeah. He looks great now. Hey girl. But in a couple of like what, 5-6 years, he's going to be aging.
Yes. Because honestly, to see him in Black Adam, to see all of the wrinkles in his forehead, which I personally noticed, I thought like, oh wow, he doesn't look like the Snyder Cut even. He's aged from that point of time as well. If he still looked like that,
and how he looked and how he looks now, I mean, it may work for The Witcher. Because, you know, all the prosthetics and the color and the hair coloring and stuff like that might work for that. But for Superman and the storyline for the time frame that he's in, he's supposed to be in his early to mid 30s, right? If I'm not mistaken,
early
around this
30s,
time. Yeah, early to mid 30s.
And
he don't look early to mid 30s, girl.
And a Kryptonian does not age like humans.
No,
that has been in the comic books for years.
A 20-year-old Kryptonian should look like a 16-year-old.
Correct.
A 30-year-old Kryptonian should look like a 20-year-old.
Yeah, a 50-year-old should look like he's 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a lot to do there. And also, I would have loved for Henry Cavill to stay in the DC universe as another character.
Yeah.
He's so talented.
Yeah.
And even with a little age, he can play anybody.
But I think at this point he's done. I would be done with DC.
Oh, he's done with DC.
Yeah, I think he's over.
Unorganized craziness.
It's too much.
And we've been calling for it for so many years. So let's just, before we hang up a bill to fire and burn them at the stake, let's just give him 1 year. Just 1 year, everybody, before y'all start calling for decapitations and all kinds of carrying. I just hate all of the super negativity. It's like, it's not worth it. Number one, these are comic books. I love comic books. I love live action. I love animation. But my whole thing has been, why can't DC be more like Marvel in the way of being a connected universe? Marvel is connected. They have had a very terrible phase, this past phase, but I do believe that they're going to fix it.
Yeah.
They fired what's his name, and then they rehired what's his name. They rehired the guy who gave us successful phases in Marvel.
Yeah.
Because he was gone. So they know what the fans want after a terrible phase. So they're both pivoting. Give them, let them pivot so they can give us what we deserve. Now, if they don't do that, read them for filth.
Pivot away, girl.
That's all I'm saying. That's all. Because I'm so excited about this chapter 1 of James Gunn. I'm excited about the Blue Beetle movie. I love the Flashpoint movie, though. Ezra Miller is not what I'm.
As we talked about last week, is that even a part of? I don't think that's a part of chapter 1.
No, but still, it's still this phase. I hate to use that word. It's what do you call it when you the pre-chapter reading? A foreword?
Oh yeah. I was like, what are you talking about?
I think this is a foreword. This is the love letter to the Snyder fans and Snyderverse. I'm hoping that they do it very correctly, because the Snyderverse is over 10 years old, I believe. So it's time for this Snyderverse to come to a conclusion. It should not go 20 years.
All I'm saying, and this goes to DC and Marvella, okay? Stop playing in our faces. We tired.
Well, they're getting it together. I think that they have heard our responses, and I'm just super duper gonna stay positive until I have a real reason not to. So that is how I feel, and that is that's because watch, Shazam is gonna be good, Aquaman 2 is gonna be good, Blue Beetle is going to be good. Watch, I'm not even worried.
Okay, we'll see how it goes, girl.
And with the shows that have run its course, like Titans and Doom Patrol, they've run their course.
What about Young Justice? That didn't run its course.
Young Justice is something that it's still moving forward.
I thought they were not bringing it back.
I haven't heard that. Yeah, but there has been no information about them canceling it either. Because I checked. I have been checking. Young Justice is a coin maker for HBO Max. And they know it. If they were smart, they'll build a whole universe around Young Justice.
That would be very smart.
So there's no word yet. They are talking about new animation, but they're not confirming yet if it's going to be connected. Though Gunn said he wants it all connected.
We'll see how it goes. Well, I think Young Justice would be a great way for them to connect all of that stuff too.
Excellent. Yes. Yeah. And so it sounds like
the last season of Young Justice was amazing.
Yes. And Gunn was they questioned him about that. They said, so what about Young Justice? And he said I have not canceled it, but it hasn't been renewed yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, let's give them a little time to get their house in order. It's a new universe. It's a lot of politics, as we hear, within the executives and executive teams from different divisions who are jealous. Yeah. I believe there's some jealousy going on as well. So let's just see how they work this through, because I'm very hopeful again that Young Justice as well is going to be renewed as well. It better be renewed.
We'll see. All right, y'all. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the upcoming season of The Flash.
Yes.
And also our hopes and our feelings on the upcoming Marvel movie, Ant-Man,
yes.
Quantumania.
Yes, yes.
So we'll see. We'll be right back after this.
Yes.
And we're back. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And if you're just tuning in, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. We do appreciate it. The like does help our algorithm, so go ahead and just hit that like button. It's free. Free, y'all.
That's right.
And thank you to our sponsors, Bullet and Flight Radio and Pyro Media Productions, for being amazing sponsors. Check them out. All right. We got a lot more to talk about. So let's talk about, before we get into The Flash, I really want to kind of cover Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So after seeing the trailer, I watched the trailer a couple of times this over the weekend, and I wasn't excited about it in the beginning. Now I kind of am, and here's why. Because there's first of all, Jonathan Majors is just, I think, a really great rising star actor.
He is a star.
And he's nice to look at. But I do also think that he's just a really great rising star, and I think that he's going to fit really well. And I think they picked a really good Kang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time I hear his voice, his mannerisms, I'm like, Denzel Washington.
Yes.
You got a cousin or something.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And
me too.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it. I have to go grab the tickets today, because we thought that it was supposed to be airing in March. But
yeah, I think it's Shazam.
I think Shazam is in March.
It's a few weeks away.
Yeah, but I saw the tickets. I got an alert, and it said, "Oh, you can go ahead and purchase tickets for Ant-Man Quantumania." And I was like, "Oh,
17th is coming up."
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I just think overall it's just going to be it's going to move the story along, and I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna go with it. I don't know, but this is a great opportunity for them to reset if they want to. And so I'm wondering if they're gonna utilize this movie as a way to reset the Marvel universe.
No, I don't think they will.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think they will,
because they pushed everything back. So I just don't know what.
Right, the reason why.
Yeah, and
the stuff wasn't done. It wasn't good quality.
Well,
I'm looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp as well. Mm-hmm. I have always been a big Michelle Pfeiffer fan.
Oh, okay.
And I love a lot of movies that she's done. Oh my God. So to see her come back, and come back into the Marvel universe, the Marvel, because she hasn't acted in quite a while.
Yeah, and she started out in the DC universe because she was. To me,
Catwoman.
The best Catwoman besides before her.
I totally forgot that
Eartha Kitt was the queen of being Catwoman. I think she was the best Catwoman. But if Eartha Kitt wasn't around, Michelle Pfeiffer was that Catwoman
because Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman was inspired.
By Eartha Kitt.
Yes.
Talked. Oh my god. She was just a perfect Catwoman.
It was, and she set the tone. She set the standard for how to play Catwoman.
Yeah. Now I feel like Michelle Pfeiffer took it more into a darker, sadistic type way, which I liked.
Thank you, Tim Burton.
Yes, thank you. But I think Eartha Kitt, like you said, set the standard for what Catwoman should be like, and I think all of the other Catwomans tried to emulate that, but they couldn't. But I think Michelle Pfeiffer did a decent job of. I will say, not Lenny Kravitz. What's the Zoe Kravitz? She did a different spin on Catwoman, and I enjoyed her Catwoman, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, it was an early Catwoman. Yeah, in her early years, that more Selena Kyle than Catwoman, in my opinion. But Michelle Pfeiffer really
she was the Catwoman for me.
Batman Returns, and I only forgot for a hot moment because I see her now, and I think about her in Scarface and all these legendary movies that she has played in, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot just for a hot second that she was my girl. Yeah, my Catwoman, and that Batman Returns. So that was fantastic, and to see her return in the Marvel universe. In this iconic,
because I was remembering, because that was my favorite Batman, was that
Batman
Returns, and also Batman with Penguin. Penguin did a phenomenal. What was it? Danny DeVito. So I just Danny Glover. Danny DeVito. He was, in my opinion, from the costume to the makeup to the embodiment of Penguin, he was the perfect Penguin to me. I am very interested in seeing this new Penguin that's coming out. On the for HBO Max, the story aren't they doing a series on Penguin?
Yes, they are doing it. Again, they're connecting the universe. Yeah, and so that's why some of the old had to go out, so they can afford to give us what we really deserve. Yeah, so we do need to remember that it's coming, and it's already in production or post production, so it should be coming soon.
Okay. All right, let's get back to
getting back to Ant-Man.
Yeah, it's Ant-Man. I'm really looking forward to that.
I'm going to say this. This is my negativity. I am not a big Paul Rudd fan. I've seen a lot of movies he's been in, and he plays Paul Rudd in every single film, in my opinion. So when he was cast to be Ant-Man, I really did not agree and still feel like there's somebody better to play Ant-Man. But the supporting cast, including Michael Douglas, as I already said, Michelle Pfeiffer, and the actress who plays the Wasp. I like her take on the Wasp. Again, not a big fan of Paul Rudd's version of Ant-Man, but overall, I'm just saying it how I feel it. Yeah, and I wouldn't see it if it wasn't for Jonathan Majors.
So, Hope Van Dyne is the character that's sorry. Evangeline Lilly plays Hope Van Dyne, if I'm not mistaken. She's the one that plays the Wasp.
Yes, I believe so.
Yes. And then but you also mentioned Michael Douglas, who I am a huge fan of. Michael Pena is in there too, who I'm a huge fan of as well. Yeah. Jimmy Woo has actually been stepping up his game, which I'm really liking his renditions on stuff. Yes. And I've always been a big fan.
That's hilarious that he's playing in a Marvel movie when he also plays in Aquaman.
Right? Yeah. I also like Bobby Cannavale. I enjoy him as well.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good stuff.
But Samuel L. Jackson, hello, legend. Okay, Bill Murray is in there as well.
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson is in this as well. It makes sense. He's probably going to be in a post-credit scene. Yeah. Again, connecting Marvel Universe the way they ought to do it.
As they should. So we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I have high expectations of this.
I'm hoping so. Well. I'm hoping so because I did not like the second Ant-Man. The first Ant-Man one I did not mind. I thought that was like, oh, okay, this is okay. Yeah. Like I didn't hate it. No. The second Ant-Man was just
meh. I am so waiting for Doom. That's how I feel. I want to see this Ant-Man as I really do. The latest trailer made me say, okay, I will absolutely with an open mind give it a shot. But I need for you all to get on the Doom. Doctor Doom is where it's at.
It is.
I don't really even care if I see the Fantastic Four.
That part. I mean, we've seen all types of 4,000s of the Fantastic Fours. I'm not really that big of a. I'm okay with it.
Meh.
Yeah, meh. I'm okay with it.
But Doom, to see him in his hometown, see him as a ruler, to see his country, that story deserves a lot of respect.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of respect from all of his time travel. A lot of people don't know he did a lot of time travel. He is not only a sorcerer, but he is a tech genius. In comparison to Tony Stark, for sure.
Yep.
On that same level.
Yep.
So yeah, he deserves a lot of respect as well, and I'm really, really, really looking forward to what they do with that.
Cool. All right, let's get into because we're running out of time, guys. I'm so sorry.
Darn it.
But let's also get into The Flash. Now, you guys know how I feel about CW shows.
Yes, he does not like the originals. He does not like Vampire Diaries.
That is an absolute
all
lie.
Came on the CW. All American.
The lies.
All of that comes on the CW. And he tries to read the entire network for filth.
First of all, I am a huge fan of the Vampire Diaries and a even huger fan of the originals. So don't even try. I've seen the originals. So the entire
CW,
series.
We want to apologize on behalf of Mr. Corbett. He does love the CW, just some shows he may not like on the CW for whatever reason.
Let me be very clear. Okay, be very clear. When I'm talking about the CW, I'm talking about the CW DC shows. Okay, not a big fan of them. Okay,
but The Flash. You have seen, I know for sure, 3 seasons out of
the best ones.
8. I think you've seen 3 seasons out of 8.
I will say
he
season 7.
All of them.
I did the season that you showed me, which I believe was like 5, 6, and 7.
5, 6, and okay.
I think 7. What was the last season? 8.
8.
So that was the last one that I saw. 8. I enjoyed season 8. And based off of what I've seen for season 9, which first of all, CW, it took you long enough to get the correct dang on lens, okay?
Yes, this is where the show should have started.
It should have started with this dang on production, okay?
But we understand 10 years ago was different. Technology changes every 10 years for sure. So we'll give you a little bit tiny discount. But seriously, this is where you should have always been. You're right.
Whatever. Anyway, I'm looking forward to I'm going to be watching The Flash this last season.
Episodes.
All 13, I guess. Watching The Flash with Mr. Dominic here. Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
Candace Patton, just ignore him. No, ignore him.
First of all, I can just watch you, girl, without First of all, I can watch you, girl, without the rest of the cast. I don't need them. Okay.
He throwing your show shade, girl.
No, I'm not throwing you shade, queen. You know what it's about. Best actor on that show. The only reason I even tuned in. Let's keep it real, Candace Patton. Listen, queen, I got your back, girl, all day. Cause I could watch you. I could watch you knit, girl. You could sit down and knit and whittle.
Lord, have mercy.
And I could sit down and watch you. I'll be like, oh, she's so interesting. She does it with dynamics. Yes, I can.
But overall, I think we are both really looking forward to all 13 episodes of the final season of The Flash.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to see where the show is going to conclude, because 2 weeks later, the Flash movie is going to be presented. And we do believe that Grant Gustin is going to be in that movie as well with some type of cameo.
I mean, it would make sense. I mean, the entire
more
world
popular
called
than Ezra
for
Miller.
Sorry, every time I hear their voice or their name, it's like 2 milliseconds for me having an aneurysm.
Okay. Grant. I would not want to play the Flash though for another 10 years if I were Grant Gustin.
No.
However,
oh my God,
those coins must be good.
The poor man.
But yes, I'm really looking forward to see. How much
is he making per episode?
He is. I had that memorized at one point. I think it's $170,000 per episode, or $200,000 per episode, something like that.
He gets paid 200. Wow. Yeah, Flash star Grant Gustin signs on for season 9 and $200,000 per episode. My God,
$200,000 times 13 just for one season. Why? Because the Flash is doing it. Okay, they bring in for sure more than a million live viewers every single week, and they've been doing that for the past decade since they premiered. So I'm very happy to see the Flash come back with this final hurrah with Stephen Amell co-starring, and Dreamer from Supergirl. She's going to be making a special appearance, and so many. Eddie Thawne is coming back.
Yes, he was good.
And the Reverse Flash, Matt Letcher, is coming back, and so many old timers. They're not old, but the old timers that started season 1 are coming back, and this is really, really a sweet love letter.
You
to
know
all
who
the
I'm
fans.
Really sad that's not coming back. That at least I don't know if he's coming back. Cisco.
He is coming back.
Oh, is he really?
They've already. I think that they've been real sneaky and secretive right now. People are flying in, and then it's just a lot. So it's a super exciting time because everyone is expecting all of their favorites to come back. All of them. I'm going to see Jessie Quick. I hope she comes back as well.
It says the CW has no comment on Cisco possibly showing up,
which means he's coming back.
Y'all can play these guys. Stop playing in our faces.
Because they asked him. They did ask him, and
that's the title of today's show.
He just
stop playing in our faces.
He changed the subject, so that says everything I need to know.
Just let us know you got an NDA, girl.
But if he did, then he's breaking it, so he can't say anything. So fans will just have to wait. So you will be pleasantly surprised, I assume, because one of my favorite showrunners, Eric Wallace, shout out to you. He's listening to the fans, and he's really doing a lot to make us all happy in this final hurrah.
I want Kid Flash to come back. I
already confirmed and already pictures of him. So
can we just have a show just with him? I'll even take the cheesy CW production.
They don't do that anymore.
If you just have him.
They don't do that anymore. The CW has upgraded, so you need to stop saying that. Lois and Clark is not cheesy. Superman and Lois is not cheesy. It's not shot in a poor way. Gotham Knights, that is going to be premiering as well, is shot in a very cinematic.
Speaking of Gotham Knights,
in a very cinematic way. So we'll see how that goes.
Speaking of Gotham Knights.
I have no thoughts because I haven't seen it. And a lot of people want to cancel the show before they've even seen it. I don't understand how you do that when you really don't know the concept. I know Batman's not in it.
Batman's not in it. They're not in costume. It's just them running around. It's Riverdale.
From a trailer. We don't know what the show is about, though.
Okay. We'll wait.
And we'll see. If it's trash, I will be the first one to throw a trash lid on top of this show, okay? If it is. If it's not, but it hasn't premiered, we don't even really know what this show is about. So, I've seen a lot of folks online saying, it's dead on arrival, it's DOA. Well, guess what they said that about? Green Arrow. They said it about The Flash. And they most certainly said that about the 8 seasons of Legends of Tomorrow.
That's true. I will say that.
So it's like you can't tell people what they like and what they're gonna like. And the writers, the showrunners, a lot of producers on this show have some street cred. And only because they have street cred will I give this show maybe a 3-episode run. If it's not good, I'll give up and I'll watch the whole season later on. But let's just give it 3 episodes. Let's just give it 3 episodes.
Sure, Jan. We'll give it three episodes.
Hey. That's all I'm asking for. So did you watch Hawkeye yet? Did you give that 3 episodes, sir?
I gave it an episode and a half. And that is the last I will ever speak on that show.
Okay, so
but
if
also,
you gave it that, then you can give
also,
Gotham Knights the same thing.
Shout out to Jeremy Renner. Okay. Think you're a great guy. Like your character in the movies. This episode or this show,
not the best, and that has been widely discussed among so many Marvel fans who just didn't really feel enthusiastic about that particular show. So I only brought that up to say, if you can give Hawkeye,
you brought it up because it's shady. That's what you.
If you can give Hawkeye a chance, let's give this Gotham Knights situation.
I didn't give Hawkeye a chance. You forced it upon me.
No, I did. I never even watched it.
I felt attacked.
Sorry, I'm going to tell you now. I've never seen that particular show. I've seen most of the other ones of Marvel, but not that one.
You don't need to watch it.
I'm going to watch it because I'm committed to both franchises.
Good luck.
I saw the Christmas special twice.
Oh my God.
I did not enjoy it either time, but I wanted to watch it just so I can completely
I'd rather watch the Christmas special than watch Hawkeye. That's how bad it was for me.
Well, I'd rather watch or give Gotham Knights a try.
Oh, sure. We'll give it a try.
Then, actually, because of all the negativity about Hawkeye, I'm kind of like, meh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I got. Anything else?
No, I think that's all. So this is going to be a very good week.
Yes.
Everyone, for DC and Marvel. Mm-hmm. With the movies, the movie premiering, Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania, and the final season of The Flash, the longest running CW DC show in history right now. So that deserves some respect. And the premiere of Gotham Knights. So there's a lot going on in this 1 week. So we'll see what happens.
A lot going on.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to, on your way out, to like, share, and subscribe. It does help the algorithm, and it supports our mother network, Pyro Media Network, as well as all those listening on Bullet and Flight. We love you guys. Thank you so much for doing that and checking us out and supporting us. We appreciate you. But also, we want to tell you, we love you guys.
Yes, we do.
We appreciate your support. We appreciate the nerding out with us every week. And so we're going to continue to provide you guys all of the support and all of the information that we get coming in. And shout out to all of the other nerd YouTubers out there. If you want to be on the show, go ahead and hit us up by emailing support@pyromedianetwork.com. You can contact Samuel and he will get it all together for you. So we hope to have you on here. We want to have some guests on. We want to talk to you guys.
Yeah, we got lots more to talk about.
Yes, it's a big community. We want to all the blerds out there, the black nerds. We love you guys. Okay.
Yes.
All right, guys. We're gonna be. I think we're late. We gotta go. So we see you guys on the next one. Until then, stay unusual.
Stay unusual.
Bye, guys.
Bye.